Hey guys, welcome back to another Getting Started with Web Development tutorial. So in this tutorial I'm going to be talking about what is HTML, and HTML is basically just like what you use to build your website. So you have other things like CSS and JavaScript, but HTML is what actually like makes the website. So creates the elements, creates the containers, creates the text fields, things like that. So I'm just going to be showing you an example and also some basic HTML here. So first what I'm going to do is just open up create a new project. So I'm just going to go to VS Code YouTube and just create a new folder here. So let's just call this what is HTML, and then inside of here let's just create a new file and let's just call it index.html. So one thing you should remember is that when you go to a website, when you're creating a website, you always want to name the page which you want to be displayed first, index.html, since when a browser opens a site, it's actually going to look for the index.html, and then if it can't find it, it's going to throw an error. So always make sure you have an index.html, and then you can just link another page inside of this, but you need to always make sure you have one. So once I've got this, I can actually close this, and to create a basic HTML template, you can just type doc, and that should actually just bring out this whole thing. So you can see we have tags like title. These meta tags are basically just to I think they're just to stop the display from looking weird and things. But yeah, so from the last tutorial you should have actually installed live server. So now what I can do is I can actually cd into this directory. So I'm just going to call this like this, and then once we're inside, we actually call the live server command. And if I actually go to this port here, we can go here, and this is actually our HTML page. So you can't actually see the title, but if I create a new tab and then go back here, well, I guess you can't see it here, but if this was a real website, you'd be able to see the tag. Anyways, where you do the actual coding is actually in the body. So inside of here we can create new things, and there's some basic elements in HTML which you should know. So there's the input elements, and this is basically wherever the user gives input. There's things like divs. So divs are basically just divisions, and these are really important, but I can't really explain it in one sentence. I mean, it's basically just a block, and then inside that block you have more divs, and then you basically just put content inside of these, so like this. And then you can also have text and paragraphs, so h1, and again if you type h, you see it goes all the way up to h6. It just reduces in size. So I'm just going to say this is some text, and then paragraphs, this is a paragraph. And then you also have a bunch of other things like lists, things like that. Lists, and inside of the list, I don't really remember how to, I think it's UL and then list item, something like that. And then if I refresh this, you can see that I think this is how you do it, although I might have done it wrong. I think it's the other way around. So if I do UL and then inside of this I do list item. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, and you can see this is the input we had. So inside of this, if we just give it a placeholder just like this, and then we can just say this is a placeholder. So yeah, basically HTML is where you actually just create the elements for this, and then you can style it using CSS, which I'll talk about in the next video, and apply logic using JavaScript, which I'll talk about in a video after that. But yeah, this was a basic overview at HTML. There's not much you can do without CSS, because if you don't use CSS, then your website basically just looks like this. And you might have noticed some of the old websites actually look like this. But yeah, so usually you can just type stuff out like this is some text which I typed in the body element. If we just do that, and you can see that appears there, and you can see that a live server is detecting the changes and we're not actually having to save it. So I can actually close that. And then if I just create a new change like new change, and save that. You can see it comes up. Oh yeah, and then one last thing before I finish, if you want to get a new line in HTML, pretty simple. You just create a new BR element and save that, and you can see it goes onto a new line just like that. So yeah, thanks for watching. This was a basic overview of HTML. I'm going to be having a lot of videos on HTML, so you don't really need to worry about this too much. But yeah, this was basically it. It's just used to actually create the components for the website. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in a future tutorial. Bye!